Hi guys, welcome back to the Fermented World channel. Just before I start this video, I would like to show you what I'm going to be doing with these figs. Now these figs contain something called potassium sorbate. If you're a brewer, you will know that potassium sorbate is Potassium sorbate is a fermentation stopper. So it's actually a preservative that stops a fermentation. So, figs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these in some hot water. Hopefully that's going to bring out any of the potassium sorbate or kill it off or do something, instead of me just putting them in and them causing a bit of a pain in the backside and doing jack shish kebab. So that's what I'm doing with them. I'm going to put them aside and make sure they're all submerged. Ouch, 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 ouch. Water's hot. Right, so throw away the figs. We don't need that no more. I've got some boiled water and I have got some Polish honey. It was set honey, but I've heated it up and it's now gone to yummy, runny honey. Polish wildflower honey. So in that goes into about 75 centilitres of hot water. The reason why I'm using less than I normally would is because I'm probably going to add some to get the rest of it out of the jars anyway. We don't want too much. And I'm using a mixture of honey today because I'm trying to use up bits of honey that's in the cupboard. And that's that. And basically just because I can, because there's no rules. Use what you want. And anyway, yeah, down to the point. Today I am making a Mega Metheglin. Metheglin is a spiced or herby kind of style of mead. So normally it has herbs in or spices. Well, I'm going to be putting 5 different spices in, or herbs. I think one's a herb. I think bay leaves is a herb. The rest, I think, are classed as spices. Got there in the end. So a bit of hot water and rinse it out. I'm using a shed load of honey today, basically because I don't want to have to back sweeten. Be quiet, Siri, go away. I don't want to have to back sweeten because it bothers me. It's a pain in the backside having to add add the honey to sweeten again after. So this is a 900 grams jar of honey, and that is a 720, so that's 1,620 grams, which is a hefty amount of honey, to be fair. Not gonna lie, it is a lot of honey. Right, now I've added loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff in there, so I'm probably gonna have to cool this down in the sink after anyway, because obviously when you add the honey that's already heated up, it's extra heat and it adds volume anyway, but we'll see. For now, we're going to mix this honey in, and then we're going to get on to adding the herbs or calculating how many herbs to use. So Will and I did the little experiment with all the herbs in the small jars that you can find on Instagram. I might have done it on YouTube as well, I'm not sure. If not, go look on Instagram. So what I did is I put a little bit of water in these and let them steep overnight with an amount of each one of these in. And then after a week, after the day or the evening, that night, I opened them up, had a smell and a sip to see what they tasted like. Some weren't as strong as I wanted them to be. Others were stronger than I wanted them to be. But when I blended them all together, so let's say there was about 250 ml all in all, once all this liquid had been drained off from the herbs and the spice. It was actually quite nice. It was actually quite fragrant, quite punchy, very herbaceous. It was it was nice. You know, I'm not really one for herby drinks and stuff like that. Not really, but I thought I'd give one a go. I did a ginger mead. It was meant to be a rhubarb and ginger mead, but I just put way too much ginger in, just trying to use it up. Right, and there you go, look, straight away, that's literally already mixed in. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to put it into a demijohn. I'll be back in a minute when I get the demijohn. So, as I was saying, I'm going to talk you through this, my theory, as I'm going through it. Once I'd put them all together, there was about 250 ml of liquid. So I wrote down roughly how many of each thing was going to be in there and times it by 18, and that gave you the gallon. So I'm going to put in 18 times the amount of everything that I put in the original blend. But if I don't have 18 of each thing, I'm going to pull everything back to the amount that I have the least of, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So very carefully, we're going to tip this into there now. Very carefully. We do not want to spill this. This is our fermentable sugars. If you spill this, there's going to be trouble. Normally only use about 1,400. Yeah, 1,440 I think it normally comes out at. And my meads normally end up going dry and being high ABV, so the theory is to catch this before it goes high, thus saving that residual sugar instead of it being too much. So the heat is going up, so let's try and get that down with a bit of cold water now, which I'll just be back in a minute with. We don't want too much to begin with. And you know what I did? I ballsed up. It wasn't supposed to go straight in the demijohn. Never mind. Right. So we'll leave it at that for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to oxygenate this by putting this bung there. Now this is what I was going to do in the pitcher, which is why I sterilised it, but I totally forgot. And we need to oxygenate, but just remember that it does build up pressure like that as it goes. A bit more. There we are. Right. So we're getting it everywhere now, but it don't matter. We can wipe it down after. Gonna take that airlock, put it back in there. So now I'm going to come back with the stuff measured out once we've calculated roughly how much I'm going to put in, and I shall let you know how much I'm putting in as well. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've counted out what I've got. The maximum one that I've got was 11 bay leaves. So I'm going on the ratio of halving the stuff that's more punchy and to make way for the things that weren't that punchy. So for example, the bay leaves and the cinnamon, even after a week in them little jars, it didn't really give a great deal of flavors or anything like that. As where the cardamon was really present. As soon as you opened it, smell, taste was there. Star anise, I absolutely love aniseed balls from when I was a kid. Could not get enough of them. And we've done 5 of them as well, and 5 of the clove, because clove is quite a punchy thing. So what we're going to do first is we're going to add the figs, which I've chopped in half because they're actually quite big. and yeah, get them in there, which I'm going to speed up. And then we are going to add yeast nutrients. Now I bought a big tub of this. I said I was going to stop using it, but I just like to know that it's going to have the best start it can. So yeah, we're using it. But I've lost my flipping spoon again. 1 level teaspoon per gallon. So we're doing a gallon batch. So we will put in 1 level teaspoon. This is half a teaspoon. So if you're as clever as me, you can figure out that that means we need 2 of these. Now there's probably plenty of nutrients in there anyway, from the fruits, maybe from the herbs and bay leaves, but we're going to put it in there anyway, just because we can. And now we're going to put in the bay leaves. I want to leave them whole if possible, just so that they don't flake and we get bits of it all over the place. Now, the chances are they might not all go in whole, but we're going to try. And then we're going to top this up with water up to about there. About the 4.5 litre mark-ish. We've got our fruit in. Now the herbs and the spices are going in. And this is, again, this is just an experiment. I know that most people don't put all this amount of this in and that in, but, you know, I'm just trying things. Starting a revolution. No, I'm not. I just like wacky ideas. I just like giving it a go and just, you know, break the mold. Crack on. Have fun. Right, so that's them in. So now we're going to add a little bit more water, which I shall go and get. So I'm going to aim for about there. Because when you use fruits, dried fruits or semi-hydrated fruits, you always lose some because the fruits absorb it. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. There's no point being greedy because I've not used figs before, so I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what any of it's going to do. Said the mad scientist. And now we're going to mix all that in together. Try and get it all a bit wet, and then we're going to pitch the yeast. Get it all mobile. Right, we've already bashed loads of air into it, so that's good. Before we pitch the yeast, we're going to do a hydrometer test. Now, the figs will add sugars to this, so in a week, or actually maybe not even a week, maybe just a couple of days, I'm going to come and check if the gravity's changed from this reading, and if it has, then we'll know that the figs have added, and then we can calculate again what it might have might be. And we are resting quite comfortably at the end of the scale at 1.120, which means we have got plenty of sugars to play with, which is nice. So that can go back in there. There's no point tasting it because it's just going to taste like sugary water. For now, anyway. Give it another jiggle for good luck. And what temperature are we at? It says 30 and coming down to 28. This yeast can be pitched at 30, 15 to 30 degrees. So I normally wait, but I'm not going to have time later to do anything else. So I think my clock's wrong. Maybe. So we're going to pitch the yeast. This yeast has an 18% tolerance. And it is Mangrove Jack's M50. I'm going to use the whole packet, even though this packet can do up to 23 litres and I'm doing 4.5. I'm going to mix that in, make sure it gets nice and comfortable in there. Might even put the bung on and give it a little jiggle, just to get any bits of yeast that's knocking around on the side walls and in the neck. And there we have it, the Mega Metheglin. The Metheglin. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm going to call it Mega Meth anyway, because it's just got loads of random stuff in it. And there we have it. We shall see what happens. Thanks for watching and take it easy. Happily bubbling away. Sweet.